Okay, we'll start. So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar today. My name is Ankita and I'm the regional manager for Africa in Frappe. So, I look actively into business and marketing enablements for the community. In today's session, we'll be going through our recent developments in Frappe Framework, Frappe HR, and Insights. So we have our product owners joining us today. Suraj for Framework, Rucha and Akash for Frappe HR, and Saqib for Frappe Insights. So it would be nice if you can introduce yourself and then we can start the session.
Hello. Ankita, I missed. Uh, should I start?
No, just introduce yourself first.
Cool. Hi everyone, I'm Suraj. Few people might know I've been a maintainer of Frappe Framework around 3+ years now. But I recently transitioned from being a maintainer to working on, um, or I can say, being a product engineer of Frappe Builder. So yeah, I mean that's about it. Rucha can go.
Hello everyone, I'm Rucha Mahabal. I've been working at Frappe for the past 5 years. So I've worked on ERP Next, Frappe Health, and then I uh, started building and maintaining Frappe HR. And currently I'm also working on an experimental project for Framework client-side rewrite. So yeah, so today we'll talk about Frappe HR updates. Akash can go next.
Hi everyone, my name is Akash Tom. I work for the Frappe HR team as well. I joined the company as a full-time employee 1 year ago, and I've been working on Frappe HR ever since. And before that, I was working on Frappe Drive as an intern for 7 months. Saqib can go.
Hello everyone, I am Sakil Ansari, product owner of Frappe Insights. Uh, I have been working at Frappe for almost 5 years now, exactly 5 years. Today I'm going to be showcasing the new updates and the next release, what's going to be in the next version of Insights. So Ankita, should I?
Yeah, just give me a minute. So before starting the session, we'll just run a quick poll for 1 or 2 minutes. And please respond on this so that we can understand your expectations out of the webinar. Meanwhile, since we cannot run a complete introduction session because of the limitation of time, it would be really wonderful if you can introduce yourself in the chat box itself. Moreover, in case you have any queries, please share your queries in the chat box so that we can answer them over there itself. And if time permits, we will take a Q&A session at the end of the session, at the end of the webinar itself. So let's start. Over to you, Saqib, you can start.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, once again, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be sharing what's new in Frappe Insights. And so yeah, I'm going to be today mostly I'm going to be sharing about the next major version release of Insights, which happens to be a complete overhaul of front end and back end. So Give me a minute. Sorry for that. Sharing my screen again. Yeah. So yeah, Insights version 3 is a complete rewrite of the previous version. You could say it is not wrong to say that it won't be wrong to say that it is a completely new product. Almost 80% of the code has been removed and the rest 20% has been um, rewritten from scratch. So, so the first question you might ask is why, right? Why redo everything again? This to explain it properly, like I have been working on this product for almost I think 3 years, 2.5 years, and I have done a lot of iterations on the um, core part of the product, which is query building. And in this starting of the year, I also uh, I had redone the query building experience, and that seems to have improved. That improved a lot of things. I think majorly it improved joining data from different tables. But then again, after observing users, internal users mostly, I have seen them using Insights as a replacement for Excel. Like whatever you can do in Insights, users have been able to do that in a much more simpler way in Excel. So realizing this, I dug deeper into what makes Excel so uh, user friendly, easier to get started with. And I did a, I think I used Excel for the same analysis that I do on Insights, and then listed down what are the main areas where Excel is familiar or easier to get started. First of all, like it is very simple to get started with Excel by importing your data from wherever. Like people can take export from their own system and then import the CSV file or or write their own, like manually type the data they have. So it is very easy to get started with. Um, it is also very easy to combine data from various sources. So, and after using Excel, I found that each and every step that you take, like filtering, sorting, pivoting, all of these steps are very optimized. Like you can do a lot of things within a few clicks. And the best part, like it is not, it doesn't feel very restricting, as Insights was. Um, by restricting, I mean you could start your analysis exploration. You can come back to it and then restart it in from a like you can try a lot of approaches um, before finally creating charts and dashboards. So that was the, I think, these are the major points that I learned from Excel. Then just to be double sure, I did more research. I looked at Power BI, Tableau, how these products feel and how they do handle these, like how easy it is to get started, what makes them so popular. And yeah, so from so learnings from these products, I noted down a lot of improvement points that we can incorporate, and thought like I thought about starting it from the scratch, because a lot of the existing code was not very flexible. So yeah, I will be going through the demo now. Let's see what has changed. And so yeah, right. The major rewrite in the front end has been the organization of your entities, the query charts and dashboard. So I found out, I realized that all three products like Excel, Power BI, and Tableau has one collection of collection of individual queries, or you can say sheets, right? So that pattern I tried to implement, and workbooks are an implementation of that. So workbooks is, so you can create a new workbook. You can start by picking the data, and this is the querying. On the right left hand side, you can see all the individual components of an analysis. You start with the query just like before, and you get this whole space to build your queries. So, and there is a toolbar where you can add filters, select columns, join data, create columns. So let's start by joining it with the items table. So you get the columns from that. Then I will create a column to calculate the order value. And whatever action you perform, it gets stored as operation, and you can see it on the right hand side. Let me remove few of these columns. Yeah, so you can go back to any step before, and you can perform any action or edit the same step. Like I can edit this. So you can go back to the next step states also. Let me just fix this. There is one more thing that and there are contextual actions for each column now. You can change the data type here. Now that you have prepared your data, you can go ahead to the chart builder and you can start selecting the options just as just like before. And so I'll make a few charts and then move on to dashboard. So a lot of options have been um, re, uh, revamped, and you can select the date column, and then based on that, you get automatic comparison between the last two rows values. You can also enable this. Now that you have prepared all the charts, dashboard remains the same. Like you just add your charts, arrange them, and yeah, then you can save the workbook. You can apply your filters. So filtering experience has been improved drastically. Like you don't add the filters on the dashboard itself, but you can apply global filters just like you would in a list view or report view. So let's say we just want to see the canceled orders. You select the filters and charts refreshes. Similarly, soon you will be able to click on this and that will apply a global filter. Once you have created, you can share your workbook. By default, every workbook remains private, and you can share user will view or edit access. So that is the major change in the front end part. I will switch to my slides and talk about what has a few changes in the backend. So under the hood, as I mentioned, a lot of code has been removed, and the major reason that is because I have switched to Python library called IBIS framework, and this handles a lot of querying and managing cross database queries. Like this has this has APIs that are built and written for data analysis workflows. So if people have used our programming language for analysis, this is very similar. This is very much inspired from that. This also eliminates the need to manually write code to handle database specific syntax. This handles a lot of things out of the box. I have also introduced a basic warehousing mechanism. Warehousing is basically is a standard concept that large organizations use to store their data at a central place from various systems. So a basic version of that I have implemented, and this enables easier data importing. Like you can drag and drop your CSVs to store them into a local database, and then combine that CSV data to other stored data. So how it works is when you select any table from the query workbook query builder, it stores last year's, some filtered data into your local, into your site. Wherever the insights instance is hosted, and that enables faster querying because you don't have to hit the remote database every time. And that stored data can be refreshed at a regular interval, whatever you specify. Yeah, also this is optional, so you can anytime switch it off for one particular query or one particular table. So if you need live data updates, that is also possible. Yeah, this has been the major changes. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling that well, so a lot of. I think we are taking questions at the end, so leave them into the chats. Or Ankita.
Yeah, I think if anyone has any questions, they can put it in the chat box. If time permits, we'll take it at the end also. Over to you, Suraj. You can start.
Hope I'm audible. Let me try this one. Ankita, you might have to allow me to share screen.
Check now.
Cool. So yeah, today we are going to look at mostly some of the interesting feature that we shipped in the recent stable releases, and would like to mention before starting that framework team has been mostly focusing on stability fixes and performance enhancements. So would request everyone to upgrade to get that experience. Yeah, I will start. So this first feature is a report generated by framework that will help some of the managers or someone who looks at the framework in their site. So I'll quickly show what this is. I'll explain it once I show it to you. So this is a bird's eye view of whatever is going in your Frappe system. As you can see, it shows all the background jobs that are running, scheduler, the status of your database, uh, the tables that are taking huge amount of space, and the health of your database, whether the logging is enabled or not. Lots of things which are essential to quickly check uh, if if you feel your system is not working as expected. This is the first report you should go and check, and if there is any warning, you will get to know. So yeah, pretty interesting feature. Anyone who mostly system managers will might use this. All right. So our next is a simple self-explanatory feature that allows anyone to assign a group of users directly. Previously, we used to assign one by one, but you can have a specific group of people for, say, for example, developers, reviewers, and let me open some docs like to do. Suppose I want this to assign to my marketing team. I can just select. There are two people in that marketing team, and if you don't have to separately select all of them. So uh, this has been contributed from by one of our community members. So yeah, pretty interesting feature. If anyone doesn't know about user group, it's a simple doc type where you can manage your manage list of users under a title. So suppose I want reviewer can have. So this user group will be accessible for assignment, or you can mention them directly via this as well. And, so once you mention them, these people will get notification. So the next feature is this is also a very handy feature, and previously what we used to do is to apply any filters to a link field. We used to do it using JS files. Now what we can do is suppose I open suppose I want certain people. I don't want to list all the users in this. I want to say that only users starting with SU or only users who have this email to show. So once you do it, you can save it. This you can do it from customized form as well. So after doing this, you can should I do it? Okay, maybe there is some customization. So I'll remove the customization and now I'll check. So yeah, this is how it works. So even if it doesn't work from here, mostly these filters are applied by developers who make the documents, but users who just use the doc type, the standard doc types, get to edit it from via customized form. So you can do it from here. So as you already saw, this works. So I'll just go. Um, that's fine. Oh, my bad. So I was doing that filter on full name. Instead, I should have done it on email. So yeah, like this. That should work. Yes, this works. The eval feature, which was not there before, is something you can do something like equals Frappe dot session dot user, but you'll have to add eval in front of. What this does is it will pick up the current session user. So any user using this will see their own username. As I'm using admin, it will not show up. But if I use it using now, this should show me only mine. So yeah, don't have to write JS for this. It reduces lots of dependency on developers. One more feature, mostly I think system managers might use this to check if some of the database, some of their table is taking more space than expected. For example, there is one report called this database storage usage. So it shows what table takes how much space in your database. So sometimes uh, we delete uh, a column in a table, but it still holds that space in your database. So to avoid that, we have to manually click optimize and select so, schedule. Mm, So what this will do is it will check this table. I selected deleted document. It will check this table and see if there are any um, uh, orphaned space that this table is taking. So it will clear that up and give you the space. So hope this is understood. There is one more feature of print table. Maybe I'll share it later. One more handy feature of suppose you want to suppose you have a web page. Let me suppose you have this web page which is on a separate server, and you have a Frappe instance where you have a so and want this web form to be you want this you want to use this web form on a different site. So what you can do is create a web form as you always as you do, and copy the embedded link, add it to your web page. Like this, you'll have to set a fixed height for now. So if you fill and height will be 550. We'll Once we do that, it will give you the form. So embedding form means it will not show the extra elements that we show in normal web form. This will not be shown. This navbar will not be shown. So you can use it cross-site as well. And if you are using something like Builder, it's much more simpler than you just open a page and simply paste it here, and that's it. Okay. So it's that simple. Okay, nothing else. Yeah, this is also very interesting that now Frappe Framework can suggest some of the optimization possibility on your queries, on your requests. Let me quickly show you. Uh, close this. So you might be aware of a recorder, and if you are not, I will quickly explain what it is. What recorder does is it tracks all your incoming requests and shows how much time did it take to respond, how much time did server take to respond, and you can also see that stack trace it went through to fetch your response. So I'll start this. I'll keep the default setting and start the recording. I'll open one of the simple. I'll query one of the simple queries. Let's open. I don't need all this, so yeah, then. Mhm. Wrong. Hold on. So what I'll do is I know this doctag has some issues. So just for demo, I'll show how this recorder will suggest me the enhancement. I'll clear this first. I'll do this. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing a filter query. This is what I get. Now I can stop the recorder and analyze this. These are all the count queries, but this is the actual filter query where I get the list. Here, there is one button which can analyze and suggest that I need to add index to this field. How it does is it checks all these queries that were fired between the request and response and sees if there are any optimization of opportunities. So this is one opportunity. So I'm using it for the first. Let me see how it is. So it enqueued, and what it will do is it will create one index on that column, and this has been enqueued. That means it will be executed later on in the data. So yeah, I mean, try this out. Probably after this, if I query, it will be much faster than this. Even though this is not a huge number, but if you have lots of data, then this number will go up, and then this suggestion might help you a lot. So yeah, that's it. If you have any doubts regarding this this features that I just shared. You can put it on the chat. I'll try to answer. There is Akhil as well from Framework team who can answer things as well. So yeah, over to you, Ankit.
Should I start?
Yes, Rucha, you can.
Okay. Um, yeah. So this is some enhancements in Frappe HR over the past few months, starting with push notifications. So if you are on Frappe Cloud, hosted on Frappe Cloud, you have access to a push notification relay server for apps like HRMS and Raven. So you could go to push notification settings and enable the push relay. So what this will do is it will store your user tokens, whoever subscribes to push notifications on the relay, and it will relay your messages to your user devices. Once you do that, so this is the Frappe HR mobile app. You can go to the settings page or profile page, and from there you can enable push notifications for your device. And then you start getting notifications for all kinds of approvals. Even the approvers, like the HR managers, get notifications for new requests like leaves, claims, all of that. Then geolocation tracking in employee check-ins. So this is an optional feature. You can go ahead and enable it in HR settings by checking allow geolocation tracking. In the web view, it's pretty straightforward. When you check in, you can, like, it will fetch your current geolocation with latitude and longitude and a marker. Uh, it's even easier in mobile, where uh, it will ask you permission for capturing your location when you check in or check out, show you the marker, and record the check-in. Other enhancements included formula-based final score calculation in your appraisals. So previous to this, it was just an average of your goal score, self score, and feedback score. But now you are free to set any kind of formula. It can also depend on what type of employee, based on designation, branch, department. So you can experiment with the formula like you do in salary structure and components. Coming to some payroll enhancements. So asset recovery in FNF. Firstly, what is FNF? It's full and final settlement or statement. So whenever your employees are leaving the organization, you need to maintain a checklist of all the payables, receivables, and all the assets you allocated to them over their service period. So you need to make sure that all your accounts are settled. So full and final settlement does that. And so whenever you create a new FNF, it will pull in all the existing allocated assets to the employee. So for example, here the employee had two assets, a laptop and a phone, and then there is action associated with it. So you could either return the asset back to the company, or you can choose to choose your employees to own it and then recover its cost. So this is what it does. Let's say I change this action to recover cost and I save it. So it pulls the assets cost over here and then adds it to my receivable amount that I have to get from the employee. Then you can just go ahead and record a journal entry that is payment from the employee, with all the details. Next is salary withholding. So this is also handy when processing exits. So some companies choose to hold the pay for employees for a given notice period or so. So you can create salary withholdings by going to the doc type. So I can select the employee, all the resignation details and exit details are pulled in. And let's say the notice period is of 2 months. So I set the cycles as 2, and the dates and cycles are automatically set here. So for 2 months, it will keep recording my salary status. You can add a reason and submit it. So the withholding will be marked as withheld for now. And this is where your tracking of individual payslips will happen. After that, you created the withholding. Now during payroll, what will happen? So you fetch all the employees, and then you can see that against this particular employee, the salary is withheld because you have a active withholding. You can go ahead and create and submit salary slips just as you do otherwise. So this will create an accrual journal entry. You can see the salary slip was created with a withheld status for that particular employee, and accrual was booked. That is, expense was booked against that employee. Only thing is, the bank entry won't have an entry for that employee. So you block the payment, but you book the expense. So you are kind of liable to pay the salary out later. And then finally, how do you release the withheld salaries? So you can go to your payroll entry later and release withheld salaries from here. So this creates another bank entry, and this only has this particular employee and the withheld salary for them. So once you do that and record the payment, if you go back to your salary slip, it will have the withheld status has been changed to submitted like other slips, and your withholding is also captured as released. So salary is released for all the 2 months that it was withheld for. So that's the whole cycle of withholding. This is also pulled in your full and final statements, where, because this is also a payable, so whenever you create a new FNF, it will pull the salary slips that are withheld with the amount and everything, and you can choose to pay it via journal entry or through payroll itself. Yeah, so that was all from my side. I'll hand it over to Akash now. He'll be walking you through a new roster management system that he built in Frappe HR.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So hi everyone, my name is Akash, and I will be presenting recent advancements in the shift management module in Frappe HR today. So the first feature that I have to talk about today is the shift assignment tool. So the biggest problem with the shift assignment doc type was that you couldn't assign in bulk, and also you couldn't even create shift requests in bulk. No, sorry, not create. You couldn't process shift requests in bulk. So what the shift assignment tool does is it allows you to perform those two actions in bulk. So this is the first action. So you can once you select the action, that is assign shift, you can select the details of the shift assignment, that is the shift type, the status, and the date. And then you can set filters. So quick filters are fields like branch and department and such, and advanced filters will open a filter group which will let you set more complex filters like date of joining, greater than. And then all the employees that do not have an active shift assignment that is conflicting with the details that you have set, that is not overlapping with the dates that you have set, will show up in the table below. And then you can select the employees to whom you wish to assign this shift, and then you can assign it to them. So basically you can bulk assign shifts, which is a big feature. The next is processing shift requests. This is similar to assigning shifts, except it is for processing shift requests. So you in this you can set the filters for shift requests, and then similar to assigning shifts, you can set filters for employees, that is quick filters and advanced filters using a filter group. Then you can select all the shift requests that you wish to process, and then when you click on process request at the top, you have two options, that is either to approve or reject. When you click on approve, it will approve all of the shift requests and submit them. and then it'll create all the associated shift assignments. And similarly, if you click on reject, it'll reject all the shift requests and submit them. Finally, we have roster management. So even though the shift assignment tool fixes the problem of bulk assignment, we still have a problem regarding visualization to view the entire schedule of all employees against dates. So this is the problem that we've tried to solve using the roster view. So I will be showing that now. So this is the roster view. And as you can see, so this is not exactly a calendar view. It's more of an employee versus day view. So you can see all the employees, an employee column over here and all the days. And then you can scroll to access the entire month. What you can see in these small squares, of course, are the shifts along with their shift timings. So you can visualize more clearly what employee has what shift on what day. How I got these colors, of course, is that now shift type has another field um, that lets you set a color in the roster. So that's where it gets that color from. It's one out of these 10 colors. And yeah, so what we have in blue over here is holidays. These holidays are picked from holiday lists for each employee. WO stands for weekly off. So these are all weekly offs. If there was a holiday that is not a weekly off, it would show the name of the holiday. What is shown in pink over here is the leave type. So if an employee has taken a leave, so you can see John Nard over here has taken a leave that spans from the 12th of June all the way till whatever. That'll be shown in the roster by blocking those dates so that you cannot create shifts on those dates. Also, we have search and filters. So yeah, so this is a multi-search. So I can select all the employees that I wish to show and search them as well or not. And we have filters. One second. All right. So yeah, so we have filters which will show only those employees according to the filters. So yeah, and we can also only see one type of shift. So if I just want to see general shifts, then like that. Also, and you can even collapse the filter bar if you wish to. Anyway, moving on. How do you create shifts using this? So obviously there is this big black button that says create, and then you can click on shift assignment over here and then fill in those details. But there is a more intuitive way of doing this, as you may have figured out. That is, you just go and click on the cell wherein you want a shift. So if I want a shift for Steve on the 11th of June, then actually, you know what, I will go to July. So now, also, I did not mention this, but this is how you uh, switch months. But yeah, so I will click on the cell wherein I wish to create a shift. So if I want for Florence on the 3rd of July, I'll click over here. And then it'll fetch those details from wherein I clicked. And all I have to really do is select the shift type and then click on submit, and then it'll create the shift for that day. Or alternatively, if you want to start, if you want to have a shift last, say till 8th, then you edit that. All these fields are editable. So if you want a shift spanning more than a day, then that's how you do that. Next, we also have provisions for having multiple shifts in a day if your HR settings allows that, which is so there is a field in HR settings that says allow multiple shifts bar. Yeah, allow multiple shift assignments for same date. So if you have that enabled, then you can select more than one shift for an employee as long as the timings aren't overlapping. So you can see that this night shift is from 10 o'clock to 2 a.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So if I select an evening shift, then I can create that. But if I try to have a shift that overlaps with it, it will not allow me. It will throw an error over here saying that there is already an active shift assignment for this date. We also have, so next we have updating shifts. So currently we can only edit the status and the end date for the shift assignment. So if I set this shift as inactive, then it will no longer check for validations against it. So I can now create a shift that would have otherwise overlapped with it. But I cannot edit this and make it active again, because then again it will be overlapping. So now it is in that state. Next, we have deleting shifts. So there are two options over here. You can see one second, I will. Yeah, so you can either delete the shift just for a specific day. So now that I've clicked on the 3rd of July for Steve, it will say, do you want to just delete it for this day? And so if I click on that, it'll just delete for that day. Of course, in that case, that shift was only there on that day. But over here, if you see, this shift is there spanning this entire duration. So if I click on delete for this day, then it'll just delete for that day. But if I click on delete all consecutive shifts, then as you may have figured out, it will clear out the entire row for that specific shift type. Next, we have shift schedule. So this is something that many people wanted. So what happens over here is that we can create repeating shifts. So now that I have crossed a week, that is since the starting date is 1st of July. So if I'm till here, then it won't allow me to create a repeating shift. But as soon as I cross that, it'll allow me to create a repeating shift. So now this spans an entire month. And if I select a shift type over here, say evening, then I can select the days that I want and the frequency. I'm going to leave this at every week. So now every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every week, it will create this shift. So now we have it. So now it creates this. And yeah, so you can play around with this. You can set whatever frequency you wish and whatever days you wish. And now we have another option over here that says shift assignment schedule. So if I do all consecutive shifts, only these 3 shifts will go. Whereas if I click on shift assignment schedule, then as you may have guessed, all the shifts are gone. Finally, we have shift moving. So you can drag a shift and drop it anywhere, and then that shift is gone to that day and that employee. And we have shift swapping. So if I keep a shift on another shift, then it'll swap with that shift, provided that all the validations are met. And also when I drag another, so you can see that currently this forms 2 different shift assignments. So this you can say it goes from 3rd to 4th, and this is just 6th. But if I drag a shift and drop it in between these two, then this will become one shift, which, okay, that is a bug that I may have to look into. But what was meant to happen is that it was supposed to go from 3rd to 6th. Like that. So this is 3rd to 6th. As you can see, I moved it over there and then I moved it back. So it basically joins all the shifts so that when you click on all consecutive shifts, it'll delete all together. I think that's it for this. We plan to add more features on demand. So if there are more features that require to be implemented into this project, then we will be adding those accordingly. But that's it for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Akash. So if anyone has any questions, they can put it in the chat box. We can take questions for like 5 minutes because of the limitation of time. So if anyone has any queries, they can just unmute themselves and ask the question. And since Saqib has left the meeting, so we will not be able to take up Frappe Insights question. So I'm sharing a link in the chat box. Maybe you can share the questions over there and give us your feedback as well if you have any queries on Frappe Insights. Otherwise, you can just unmute yourself and ask the question. No one has any questions?
Oh, hi, Ankita. This is Shaz. Can I ask something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I was just wondering, is there any displayed or publicly available roadmap as to what you guys are working on? Because I saw the toaster thing and it looks amazing. I mean, it's very well made. It's fairly decent. But if you have something which is in the public domain as to you're working on it, maybe for example, I can send in some request saying this is what some of our customers are looking for. This is what we have seen with you. So is there some roadmap which is available, which you guys are working on somewhere, which I can see?
Yeah, we do have. I'm putting it in the chat, so you can
Great, thank you so much.
also always check the PRs on GitHub where active development is happening to give some feedback or anything you have. So, and the projects
Yes.
have a pipeline of all the features. So, we
That's
maintain separate ones for the mobile app and the desk.
okay. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you.
Any other questions?
So, someone has asked in chat that what if an employee has alternate week offs? So we are, after we ship this first version of roster, we'll be working on something called as holiday assignment, where you will be able to plan week offs more easily from this view itself, because currently it's pretty rigid. You have a holiday list at the employee or company level, and it's not very easy to change it, change the holidays and all, and maintain a historical data of weekly offs and uh, everything else. So that's in the roadmap.
But even given the current way holidays are assigned, you can set weekly offs alternatingly, but you will have to set them manually instead of automatically assigning certain days.
Geofencing is next in line. We shipped geolocation. So geofencing and locations and all is there in the roadmap. Yes, the mobile app, it's a progressive web app. So anywhere you host the site, you will be able to access the mobile app for it. I'll just put the link in the chat for docs.
I think, Rucha, there's another question. Is employee location tracking available of a day?
So this just tracks check-in and check-out locations, not like live location or anything.
I think, Akash, this question is for you. For roster manager, is there any UI showing the audit log for particular shift changes?
So not currently, because if you are editing a shift, and that will show up in the history, but if you are replacing it, then that creates new shift assignments, so there won't be any logs for that. But then you can see what shift was deleted and what was created in its stead by accessing the deleted doc type of the framework.
Also, I think this is the last question which we can take. Can we apply 2 types of leave in a same day?
No, you can't. Currently, you can't. You mean like half day?
Yeah, like half CL and half special leave.
No, currently that feature is not there.
Cool. There are a couple of questions which are coming in the Q&A box also, but because of the limitation of time, we will not be able to take all the questions. So what I'll recommend to everyone is that that we have a feedback form. So I'm sharing the feedback form in the chat box. So do give us your feedback, along with if your questions have not been answered, you can write us on this feedback form itself, and we will get back to you through the feedback form itself. So because of the limitation of time, we had to cut the Q&A session short. Moreover, thank you to Rucha, Akash, Suraj, and as well as Saqib to help us go through the product features of Framework, Frappe HR, and Insights. And thank you everyone for being a wonderful audience as well. And yeah, please do join us for our future events as well. You can visit our frappe.io/events page, and you can check on our upcoming webinars as well. So thank you so much. So we are still seeing that there are some questions coming. So I would request you to put those in the feedback form so that we can answer them after the session gets over. Thank you so much.